Okay, long time no see. So hello YouTube, what I have in front of me is Lenovo, and this one is messed up beyond the reason, it truly is. So this thing is broken, as you can see. This connector is also broken, I think it's pushed inside, and as you can see this thing is also broken and it is dirty. So and it is wet. So let's repair all of the problems above. First of all, let's remove the battery, and there are two screws. These are the flat ones. So the next thing, there is one screw in here. Oh, there are also missing screws, so somebody obviously tried to repair this thing, which is not nice. So one screw in here, and you just pull this thing downwards. This thing actually comes with Windows 8, so it can be upgraded to Windows 10, which, to be honest, I'm not quite sure whether I want to recommend to anybody, because they have been laggy lately, and I don't know whether you heard, they tend to delete your files, and the last thing they have is problem with zip files. They also delete that, so good going Microsoft. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, so there is a missing screw. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 screws, and you have to remove this one as well to remove the battery. So there are plenty of screws missing in here, and also this one, which is for the DVD drive. So let's remove the DVD drive and let's see whether there are a few screws underneath as well. And I was actually right. There are 3 screws underneath here as well. This thing will be an adventure to fix. I'm not quite sure how. I will be using hot glue, I guess. Hot glue is awesome. Now I suppose that you can buy a cover, but unfortunately the owner of this laptop does not want to spend any money on it, and this is all me doing it. Okay, so let's remove the other screws. These bottom screws are of the same size. So yeah, in here. So broken. Missing. Oh, it's actually not missing, it's just turning all the way around. Well, this thing will be an adventure to put together. Okay. So one in here. I will be also removing the SD card part, so just press it in and remove it. One in here as well. There is one screw in here, which is a small one, which holds the keyboard. And I believe that's actually it. Okay, oh, I can already hear everything falling apart inside. So now I need to remove the keyboard, and I'm actually pressing it downwards. I'll show you from where. So that here you have the CD drive, which you can press underneath. And this thing has already been opened by somebody and not by me. So there you have it. That's why it's missing everything, I guess. So, okay. So one screw in here, and there is a protective sticker, as you can see. One in here. There are 2 screws. You need to remove, this is the touchpad. Just press it up and pull it. One in here as well. Press it up and pull it. This is the power on button. One in here and pull it. And this is the microphone, I believe, just this one. Yeah, this is falling apart big time. This thing will be an adventure to repair. It surely will. And I guess this thing should be it. Unless I've missed a screw in somewhere, but I did not. Oh. This thing actually, I don't know where you can see, but Wi-Fi actually got broken. This is such a piss poor design. Okay, so first of all, let's remove this Wi-Fi so that I can actually remove the motherboard. Okay, and so number one is the black, which is here. 300 is black and the white one is 302. Okay, so Wi-Fi, and I think, oh, gets a lot of this, everything fell out from this laptop, and this is actually, well, I would say, known problem with Lenovo. They tend to fall apart big time. So to remove motherboard, you have one screw in here, one screw in here. There are arrows, as you can see, and one screw in here and one screw in here. So 4 screws. And, oh, okay. And I will be removing this ribbon. So 4 screws. Let's see whether this thing will actually hold. So motherboard in here. 1, 2, 3. And fourth. I did actually ground my leg. Okay, so one in here, and just pull it, and this one in here, which is the speakers, just press it up. Again, not a big problem. And this is the this one in here is the for the LCD, and just pull it up and pray to whatever it's holy that it does not break away from the motherboard. Okay, because they actually had a series, and I don't quite remember which one it is that had that problem. Also, there is one screw in here which holds the fan. I'll show you in a second. And also you need to disconnect this thing, which is the SATA connector. You just pull it downwards. It is such as this one. Okay, and this thing should go out easily. So the next thing you have to do is remove two connectors, which are the power connector and this one. I'm not quite sure what it is. Okay, so first of all, let's clean this motherboard. So baby steps. I will be actually going outside and cleaning the dust from this part and the motherboard, and then I will be cleaning the fan. And just to show you how dirty this motherboard is, it is quite dirty. So one cleaning later, and as you can see, this is way better. I do still need to clean the fan, so let's remove the heatsink and the connector. And remember to connect the fan, because it happened to me more than once. I'm ashamed to admit that I forgot to connect the fan, and then you need to disassemble everything. Anyway, you pull this thing off. So 2 screws, 4 screws, and this should be it. And as you can see, both are thermal paste, so not bad nonsense. Okay, so let's clear this thing, and let's clear this thing first of all. Okay, now I will be disassembling the fan and removing these screws, and just to see whether I can put some oil in it, because this is a 2-year-old laptop, or 3 years old, I'm not quite sure. Bloody hell. So let's see whether there are more screws. There probably are. Yeah, who knows? Or not. And this thing is holding it. Okay. And now I shall try to lift this thing up, and yes, I can. So I'll be cleaning this thing and this thing as well, and placing some oil inside. So let's clean this thing first. There is a lot of dust around me. Also, you need to clean this thing. Believe it or not, this is actually dust. A guy came to me and wanted to, well, actually not to me, to a colleague of mine, and the colleague wanted to well, change the thermal paste and charge him for the job. And the guy told him, no, I'm gonna do it myself. And the guy came like 2 weeks later to brag, that he did entire job and he cleaned everything and put the filter back. This is not filter, this is dust. Seriously. So the next thing I'll be doing is actually using this brake fluid, because this thing is actually the best thing I found for cleaning thermal paste. And yeah, this thing is awesome, and I'm actually not sponsored by them in any way. That's why I have all these stickers, just so that you do not think that I've actually gotten paid for, well, advertising something. Okay. And I will be cleaning the GPU with the same thing. So, first of all, let's place some oil and let's close this fan. So, as you can see, this is actually quite clean now. So, some oil, just a teensy weensy, and put this thing back and spin it a bit, and as you can see, this thing is actually spinning perfectly. So let's close this thing, and yeah, and let's put those two screws back inside. Okay, now let's clean this thing. It is a bit messy. Be careful when you're rubbing the GPU and the CPU, because this thing can fall off. Well, to be honest, I've never seen one fall off, but who knows. So, as you can see, this thing is now clean, and I can actually put this thing back. And now the thermal grease. I'm actually using MX4, which is quite okay. This thing might be a bit of an overkill, but my spreader has gone somewhere and I cannot find it where. So this thing is okay. I just need to clean this thing a bit. So there you have it. Now let's put the fan back. Okay. Now this thing was actually the easy part. Now the repair. So there you have it, the easy part. And I'm not quite sure how to repair this thing. I truly am not. So I mean, everything fell apart. Seriously, every fucking thing. This is the Wi-Fi antenna. Yeah. I think I'll solder it back on somehow. But I don't know whether you can see it, but this thing is broken, this thing is broken, this thing. Every bloody thing is broken, and including the button actually fell out. At least at least I've placed this thing back inside. Okay, so fun times. So to repair this thing I need these two screws and these two screws, and I think I'll drill some holes to the other side and try to screw this thing inside, and then later on I'll try to fix this power connector. So as you can see, all I need is these two and this one. So I'll be drilling some holes through the to the plastic itself and placing something underneath. That is the general idea anyway. Sorry. Okay. All I can say is this is actually, I believe, way harder repair than it looks. Now the good thing about these hinges is that they're actually not that hard. So for example, MSI has very hard hinges, and when their plastic breaks, you basically need to spit blood in order to repair them. This one's not such. Okay, you know what, I'll move my camera a bit so that you can get a better angle. So I hope that this is a bit better angle. So I'll need to get out my drill. So I just bought this. I've never used Makita in my life. As a kid I always wanted to have one. I just finally got it. Yeah. So what I do need are some drill bits, and I think this is the smallest, and this one will be just fine. I think. Yes, it will. And I will need to make 2 holes. Okay. Speed 1. And let me show you where I'm making the holes. So I'll be making the holes in here and in here, so where the old screws were, but I will be placing something underneath the plastic itself. Let's make some holes, right? Okay. These are the only 2 holes I actually need, and that is pretty much it. I can actually try to repair it now. Okay, so I found 2 longer screws, and let's try to fix this thing, right? So as you can see, I've installed 2 longer screws, and now what I will be doing is actually just placing the hinge onto these 2 screws and screwing them from this side. That thing will be working without any problems whatsoever. So this is the way it looks now, and I'll be also using 1 screw in here. I just need to find it. One longer and a fatter one. Now as you can see, I have this thing from the back, and it is a bit ugly, but it is functional and it won't fall apart and whatnot. So I have one of these and I need 1 more. And I'm using 1 more that fell apart. So as you can see, I've installed 2 longer screws, and now what I will be doing is actually just placing the hinge onto these 2 screws and screwing them from this side. So I will be needing 2 more of these, but as you can see, this thing actually flew right away after I opened the laptop, so I have these even to spare, so yeah. So the next thing I will be doing is actually this, to make it something like this. And why am I doing it? I will be showing you just a second. So I will be pressing this thing inside, and I will be actually placing this another one on this side, and well, screwing it inside, and that way you will actually get quite a good thing, quite a stable thing, because this screw is a bit bigger and it will stay inside. So this is the final, I would say, destination, right? Well, not destination, but final outcome. And I need to just place this thing back where it was, with hot glue, of course. So these 2 screws are for the speaker. And the speakers are actually on rubber pads. This thing has a potentially great idea. I'm not sure though whether it is, but why not? And I will be also placing some hot glue in here as well, just so that this thing does not open, because things have tendency to unfold. Shitload of hot glue in here so that it does not move, because that is not good if it moves. And basically this is the end of the repair. Well, at least the part I wanted to show. Now I need to cool this thing down and put this thing back together, and I will be showing you how to do that as well. But let's wait until this thing cools off. Okay, so I'm back, and first thing I need to do is install the motherboard, which is actually not that hard. There are 2 cables you need to put inside from in here, and you need to connect this thing, which is the SATA connector. But I will be placing the motherboard inside first, Okay. There is one connector that goes on top, and there is one connector that goes in here. These are the speakers. So after that, I need to remove this thing, and I need to connect the SATA connector, as I've said. And basically, this should be actually it. Okay. Yes, this is it. Now there are 4 screws that hold the motherboard. Yeah, there is one in here as well, of course, which is for the fan. You need to remember that one. So 4, and this one is actually 5th, which goes in here. You need to connect this thing, which is well, USB and card reader and whatnot. Place it underneath, and basically that is it. I can actually put now this thing back. You will hear kind of exploding sounds, but that is normal for this type of laptop. So this one goes in here, this one goes underneath in here. This is the touchpad, which goes underneath in here, and the mic goes, okay, in there. There you have it. Now there are 2 screws that go in here, which are the ones that you placed on your top pile. Now you will be missing a few screws, or to say it better, you'll have a few screws extra, but that is due to this laptop well falling apart. Okay. Let's close this thing. And this is actually perfect. Now, this is not the greatest repair, as I've stated on several occasions, but it does work. Okay. So now this one actually is for the this thing. So we said that 2 goes to 1. And this one is actually, this thing goes in here, and this thing should be just screwed in with a single screw, which is okay. There is actually no need for 2 screws. Okay, yes. So this one goes in here, but unfortunately I do not have the right screw for the keyboard. Bloody hell. Okay, I will find that thing later, to be honest. This is not important to me, and this is for the SD card which goes inside. And now you can actually open and use laptop as you did before. Now let's see whether this thing will actually turn on or not, because if it does not, that would suck big time. Are there any LEDs on this laptop? Seriously, no fucking LEDs. Okay, let's try to turn it on. Oh, it is turning on actually, which is always a good thing. So there you have it. This thing is, I suppose, working fine. So yeah, I won't be showing you the account. But yeah, well, everything is working, and that is pretty much for this video. I hope you liked it. It is a bit long, but this was actually a long repair. So until the next time, be sure to like, share, subscribe, whatever. Bye. I'm just kidding, subscribe.